Hi, we're the Coonies, Deborah, Paul, and Maggie. We'd like to share our first long road trip with our new Tesla Y. This is our brand new Tesla that we received a couple weeks ago down here in Florida, Model Y. We ordered it maybe 5 months ago and went to the dealer, and they spent time with us setting up driver profiles. And I think we've only put maybe 150 miles on the car. But we're snowbirds, we're retirees, and we're going to be taking an electric adventure back up to, ironically, the Motor City, up to Detroit. It's going to be about a 1,300-mile trip, and we're really excited about doing it. My wife is in the process of packing up the car to go.
I'm figuring out where to stow this because we're going to have stuff in the back.
Before receiving the car, we had a NEMA 1450 plug installed. What we did was we had what's called a disconnect connected to our main and a 50 amp circuit installed. The wires were run to the outside of our lanai, and here it is. It's in an external enclosure, but there's your 1450 NEMA connector. This is the plug that goes into the charging port. This is a NEMA 1450 adapter that we bought from Tesla. It was $50, and that's what we use. And we've been getting, even though we've only charged the car a couple times in Florida, we get about maybe 30 miles per hour of charging. Anyhow, tonight we'll be charging the car up probably to around 90%. So tomorrow we'll take you along, and we figured it might be interesting for people to see older, more senior people embracing newer technology.
Hi, 7 a.m. I just unplugged the car. It's all ready to go. We're charged up to about 90%. I had it preconditioned to leaving at 7 a.m. so the car's ready to go. So now I'm going to put in here Kingston, and it tells me, oh,
now turn left to stay on Riverwalk Lane.
So we're going to Daytona Beach, and I should have 13%. And
so it's saying Daytona Beach is the first stop for charging?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Well, we're coming up to our first supercharger location. We've driven about 190 miles from Jupiter, close to Daytona Beach. I'm following Debbie in the car that we had driven down to Florida. So we'll meet up with her at our first supercharging experience. All right, Debbie is just backing into our first supercharging experience. This is going to be kind of cool. And it's kind of cool. We're actually right next to Daytona International Speedway. And I do know that Debbie has been averaging at least 75 miles per hour. I mean, she's not been dogging it at all with the car. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, so one thing I noticed, it says we've driven 178 miles, and we now have 71 miles left. Yep, push the button, it works. Light's blue, it's blinking, it's thinking. Okay, it's charging.
So we have 20 minutes here.
Yeah, so we can use
And
the
for me
bathroom
personally, I would have needed to stop for a bathroom break anyhow.
Yeah,
at
it's
this
potty
point.
time anyway, so.
Okay, potty time.
Okay.
As you can see, there's several superchargers that are not being used. And of course, we pulled up and the lady was joking that there was a blue, black, red. All they needed was a white one to complete the color spectrum.
So it stopped charging in 20 minutes. That answered my question. It thinks we're done. We have 226 miles, directions, and it says 111 miles or an hour and 40 minutes to the next stop. All right, we'll see how it goes. this one went well. We had a nice Target, we got coffee, we got bathroom, and that was pretty much 20 minutes.
All right, we've traveled another 160 miles to Brunswick, Georgia. Debbie's backing up. This is going to be our second supercharge event. There's an amazing amount of superchargers here. And, we're the only one here, so.
48 miles left.
I turned behind the wheel now, and my impressions now, of course, I've got a 69-year-old bladder which needs a stop. I could have used a stop even before that last supercharge station, but for the first couple stops, not bad, 20 minutes, and then we're back on the road. And the fact that the car itself gives you voice commands to get to the next charging station. So far so good. According to the car, we're about 8 miles out from Greaseville. So this will be my first experience using the supercharger. I look forward to it. Okay, this has taken us to a parking lot with, it looks like, at least 10 chargers, and you can see that at least half of them are not being used. It's in a Food Lion supermarket parking lot. And this will be my first experience with a supercharger. Here's Debbie with Maggie going for a little walk. All right, so all I'm gonna do is grab the charger, press the button. You can see it opens up and it's blue, and I think we're good to go. Well, the car is being charged. As you can see, the estimated time is 20 minutes again, so all 3 charges that we've done have been 20 minutes. Well, this is a strange one. We've stopped and it just wants us to do a charge for 5 minutes. So 5 minutes it'll be, but again, you can see there's, at least 8 chargers here, and at the moment we're the only ones here, so it should be easy in and out. We'll be back on the road. We're back on the road after that 5-minute charge. And I think, again, it's just a quick little charge, 20 miles out from our next charging location. And again, it's kind of a repeat of what we've done before, is that we're probably going to have about 60 miles that we could go further. Well, we're taking the opportunity to feed Maggie. This is maybe my least favorite of all the charging stations along the way. There's only like a 4-banger here. By my calculation, we've gone around 660 miles today, 12 hours, and only an hour and a half of charging at the end of this, which surprises me. I thought we were going to be spending much longer times waiting for the charging to be done, and it's dinner time, so we're just going to go find a restaurant while the car's charging. Well, as you can see, it's night out. We decided after dinner that we would go another 60 miles down the road, so we'll be spending the night tonight in Elkin, North Carolina, which means that basically we will have done about 700 miles approximately today. So we'll wake up tomorrow and find out what the route is to go to the next supercharger, but today was pretty good. And also shout out to the Tesla infrastructure. I didn't like that last setting. I really didn't like where it was located, but there were several more superchargers that I didn't see initially down the road. So there were plenty. There weren't just that 4 or 5 that looked congested. All right, we spent a lovely night at the Quality Inn last night. We're about an hour out on our second day in the morning, and I told Debbie to an hour out to charge up. Now these chargers were a little bit difficult to find. They're in back of a Holiday Express. You see there's about 6 of them, and there's only 2 Teslas here. Did it say how long of a charge?
It's at 20 minutes, but I'm down to like 50 miles, so I don't know.
Okay, another 20-minute charge. All right, we've driven about 130 miles from this morning. This is our second charge of the day, and I think it's going to be back to the same recipe of probably a 20-minute charge. And it is kind of interesting when you get off these exits trying to find these chargers. So we're hooked up again, and we'll be off in another 20 minutes down the road. Again, we're in Charleston, and we'll keep heading back to the Motor City.
It looks like we got about 3 hours to the next charge, so they're having us charge up. We got 15 minutes more to go. It's more than normal, but I think there's not a whole heck of a lot in Ohio. So we're topping it up and having a coffee while we wait. Well, we kind of charged up a little bit extra. We're 287 miles. We got 3 hours this time, 177 miles into Ohio.
Completed our big drive. We're in Ohio. We're in Polaris, Ohio, and you know, it is kind of interesting to figure out where these chargers are. You know, we thought maybe it was with the Target that's here, and I'm just kind of roaming the parking lot trying to find it. But I can see them over here in the parking lot. So, all right, all hooked up. Well, this should be our last stop before getting back to Detroit. And, you know, it was actually my neighbor up in Michigan that suggested that Debbie and I put together a little video to show, you know, some retirees, snowbirds, their experience by getting an electric car and driving it from Florida back up to Michigan. And, you know, we're trying to embrace the new technology. And the trip has been very eye-opening for me. I think this is a good example. It's our last charge before going back, and there's plenty of chargers open. We don't have to wait. And for most of the time, as you know, we've indicated during the trip, the charge has been maybe 20 minutes, and we're back on the road. So you drive 2 hours, 20 minutes to charge, and then you're good to go. And you know, the next thing you'll see is I'll show you in our garage, we had put in a NEMA 1450, which we showed at our property in Florida. Of course, this one doesn't need an exterior enclosure because it's inside our garage. And hopefully that'll be the next place we charge the Tesla up with. So it's been a good experience, actually a lot better than I had anticipated.
And what have you learned?
Well, I've learned that at least in this route, and I can't say that everybody's experience is going to be the same as ours because not everybody travels a well-traveled corridor like I-75 and I-95, but range anxiety is not an issue. I mean, there's plenty of places, at least, again, during our route, plenty of places that we could charge, and again, a 20-minute charge is really nothing. You know, I usually want to stop every couple hours anyhow and use the bathroom for that. So it seemed to fit into our lifestyle quite nicely.
And we learned to use the windshield wiper, and we learned to use Google Maps.
Yeah, we've been learning about the car as we go
We're
along.
learning to use the sound system.
Yep.
So all right, good to go.
Well, we're not getting a great weather welcome to get back to Detroit, but we're getting close. Okay, the next time we get on, we'll be probably in the garage with the charger, but 2 days, 1,300 miles, Jupiter, Florida to Detroit, Michigan, and I think we stopped maybe 8 times to charge along the way. Not bad at all. All right, we're in our garage, you know, in Detroit. And you can see the plug, the blue plug over here is basically the same configuration that we had down in Florida, except this one is not in an external casing because it's inside the garage. But it's the same fitting for the NEMA 1450. So we'll just leave that plugged in, and that's what'll be nice here is we can just leave the cable where it is, and when it comes time to charge the car, we can just pick it up and start charging.
All right, we're finally here. It's been a fun trip. We've learned a lot. So here's our first charge at home. Okay, there it goes.